Black rhinos once lived throughout much of sub-Saharan Africa. By the turn of the century, wide-scale poaching had eliminated the rhinos in Zambia. After a group of local conservationists in North Luongo National Park championed their cause by reintroducing them, their population began growing steadily.
We have missed this black rhino in this country. And that's why what we are doing as North Luongo is loved by everybody, because we are getting back the species that everyone wants to see. When you have it near you, I think you feel it.
But can this progress be sustained, and how?
It's important because it's providing employment for the local people like me, and it's our heritage as Zambians.
These are Zambia's black rhinos. This is Inside Africa. North Luongo National Park in Zambia is one of the last great wildernesses in Africa. It lies in Luongo Valley, in the northeastern side of the country, covering close to 2,000 square miles. Wildlife roams free, from hippos, zebra, elephants and gazelles. Michael Eliko is taking his 11-year-old niece, Chilufa, and his children to meet a black rhino for the first time.
Wow, look at that. I want them to grow up with that love of nature. Because when someone loves something, they cannot hurt it, they cannot harm it, they won't wait for someone to tell them to look after it, they will care it by themselves.
Michael can remember a time growing up when black rhinos were abundant in his country.
In the 1970s, they were 12,000 in Zambia, just Zambia. And in our national park, North Luongo, we had more than 2,000, and they were officially announced extinct in 1998.
Michael was part of a North Luongo conservation program that helped reintroduce black rhinos into the park in 2003. At the time, 5 rhinos were transported from South African national parks, and since then, 20 more have followed from different countries.
I'm very proud because now North Luongo is the only national park which has the big 5. Buffalo, lion, leopard, elephant, and the rhino. So these are big animals that, if you see these, which means you have seen almost all the animals. Look at that. The way it's eating. How I wish it was actually browsing so that you could see the way it browses.
Michael's day job is teaching local kids about the importance of wildlife protection.
So this is how a rhino helps the ecosystem. Regularly, I take a group of learners to the park to go and see rhinos for their first time. And they do really enjoy it. Actually, I say most of the teachers, they have never ever seen the rhino before in their life. You like it? The food that you're having is called luseni, okay? Food that they feed while even livestock.
I'm very happy, and then I'm excited to see the rhino because it's big than I thought.
Some of the children, they had different actually expectations. Some of them, they were saying, oh, maybe they are going to see a very cute animal, and then when they came to that side, they said, wow, wonderful, is this a rhino? We say, yes. Oh, looks more like an elephant, because some of them, they have seen an elephant before.
I was thinking that it is a small one and like a goat. Yeah, but now I'm seeing that it's a big one.
While the proximity provides an important teaching tool, the rhinos are not always on such good behavior.
My most actually precious moment which I always remember. We had 20 rhinos, and then the guide was explaining what the rhino was doing, what they are feeding it, and when they are going to release it. And then the rhino came, and then it peed maybe 5 rhinos. And the urine of that animal is white, and then the rhinos were painted in white urine. And it was very fun. No one cried. They really liked it, and they enjoyed it.
Emboldened by their first encounter, the group tries to get closer to a rhino with the help of the rhino commander and his team.
There's a rhino here, okay? So I have to be quiet. Maybe you can see it, okay?
They're in luck. Another rhino has been spotted napping in the bush.
How do you feel to be this close to this animal? You're scared?
The name of the rhino is Shungu. Came in Zambia in 2018 December from Zimbabwe.
It's rare for a wild rhino to be this habituated to people.
I feel like doing this job just because I love to see rhinos. They look so beautiful to me. Black rhinos, they cannot see at a long distance, but they can get sound and they can smell. And even we compare white rhino and the black rhino. White rhino, yes, not all that aggressive compared to black rhino.
There's approximately 20,000 white rhinos in Africa and less than 5,000 black rhinos. We're still minnows in the black rhino world. I mean, the leading countries are South Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Namibia. And now we're sitting between 50 and 100 now today in 2019.
The team has been keeping a close eye on Shingu after coming under attack from the other male bulls in the rhino sanctuary.
We try and see every rhino as often as possible. Obviously, with increasing numbers, that's not always so easy. So we know the outliers, we know the ones that we have to keep a close eye on. And one of the ways we do that, especially with the bulls, the male rhinos, is by putting radio transmitters in their horns and then be able to track them both on the ground and in the air, just to maintain a full understanding of their position so that we can then better strategize and conduct the protection around them.
Shangila, the cow, the rhino, she was having had a calf here. She's here for 2 months now. She's shifted just down here.
The aircraft's antenna has picked up the radio transmitter belonging to a male bull named Kango.
Amazing to think just 3 years ago he was skin and bones full of holes from rhino horns from the big boys, and now here he is in one of the best sections of the park with 3 girlfriends. How the world has changed for Kango.
The park and surrounding areas cover 22,000 square kilometers. So over 400 local scouts are employed to protect the wildlife on the ground.
The aircraft will be in the air 3-4 times a week, and the scouts on the ground will be out all day, every day. And there's a rotation, so once one team comes out, another team comes in. So it's relentless, it's non-stop, but that's what works for us.
60 full-time scouts are deployed in Pamelo's specialist rhino unit. Isaac Luongo has 9 years' experience of tracking rhinos.
Each animal has got its own frequency number. I've got the frequency for Betty, but unfortunately, it's not nearby.
Isaac is trying to locate a 3.5-year-old female rhino called Betty.
Sometimes it's not easy to find a rhino because they stay in the very far areas, the thick bushes. If you are lucky, you can find it just nearby. You can just walk 300-400 meters, you have found that animal, if you're lucky.
Tracking teams always work in pairs for safety, so one scout can always be on the lookout for the approaching rhinos or other wildlife. It's dangerous work.
I was with my colleague. We were following a female rhino and a calf. Unfortunately, there was a bull behind us and it charged, so I was almost stepped on.
It's dangerous if you find that it's in the thick bush, but you must just have courage. I'm proud because now I know how to track rhinos and I've got experience of tracking rhinos.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Change arms.
Up next, 45 trainees discover what it takes to become a rhino tracker.
When we are tracking, we do tell them when it charges, go for a tree or freeze or lie on the ground.
Change arms. Left, right, 2, 3, shoot, 2, 3, back.
Here in Zambia's North Luongo National Park, these young scouts are 8 weeks into an 11-week program, aiming to become the next rhino trackers.
You have to work extra hard. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir!
Solomon Chitanuka oversees the whole of the region's security.
Since 2005, North Luongo National Park in Zambia, it is the only park that have got black rhinos. So now, we want to protect these animals. When the number actually increases, maybe to the level of 60, 70, we want to start releasing them to other parks. So it's very important actually to have these rhinos for the country.
Under Solomon's leadership, no rhino has been poached here since their reintroduction. The area's high security measures also helped prevent any elephants from being poached in 2018.
The best way to protect this area is through the people. And we really try hard to ensure that all scouts that come and work here are employed from the local communities. And it's that sense of ownership and that sense of pride which we have to just maintain and ensure that people remain involved for us to manage these areas sustainably.
1, 2, 3, 1. Miss action.
There's a big improvement. The project has also, put a lot of effort to teach them, to train them and understand the importance of wildlife.
Once they've passed their training, the scouts can be deployed in any of the major units, from rhino monitoring, investigation, park security, or patrol teams. Scenario-based training exercises are in place to help cover all eventualities of working in the field, from simulating poacher arrests to carrying out first aid after a buffalo attack. Most of the arrests take place in surrounding villages, so the scouts undergo an exercise in a mocked-up village.
Left clear. Open door. Room clear. Cordon. Internal search over. Extend.
Most of the poachers that we arrest, they are not bona fide residents. They come from outside the areas that are surrounding the park.
Dogs play an important role in detection and apprehension. The animals are deployed when a poacher's footprints have been detected. The conservation program says 29 people were arrested in May this year as a result of the work of the canine unit.
In one room or one house, as a human being, you take 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But this time around with the dogs, it's 5 minutes, you are out. Whether a person has hidden something, there were people that were trying to hide their ammunitions and firearms in top of the, somewhere there. They hang it, but the dog, it will be able to see it. Immediately you get it.
A dog's sense of smell is thought to be between 10,000 and 100,000 times more sensitive than humans. It takes detection dog Sarah 30 seconds to find a planted hyena skin. She sits to alert her handler Joyce of her discovery and gets praise for her efforts. But Sarah is not top dog in the canine unit.
So this is Vika, and she's 4 to 5 years old, and this year she has done 40 arrests.
All 4 dogs in the canine unit are rescue dogs from the United States. Vika was rescued from the Nevada desert.
Some of the dogs, like Vika, she's specialized in detection. When you're doing this job, for the first time in your life to catch them with a dog, and I was proud of that. Then I found the bushmeat, someone hiding under the mattress. Then the dog detected on that, and I was proud of the dogs.
Joyce and her cousin Gift come from a local community and have been working together for over 2 years.
In the morning, we wake up around 05:30. After waking up there, we'll come here in the kennels. We take the dogs for training. After coming back from the training, we take the dogs to the prey area. Yes, after praying the dogs, we'll leave them there so that they can relax. After some time, we'll take the dogs back in the kennels.
Joyce and Gift are the only women working in the canine unit out of a team of 7.
Did have quite a few traditional challenges bringing the women in. There was no way they were going to tolerate being told they couldn't take the jobs on. So we supported them all the way through that, and now everyone is accepted that they are leading the charge.
There are not many women working in canine unity in Africa. The two of us, we are proud of being working like men. Like what men can do, we are showing up to say even a woman can do what a man can do. So it's good. And it's good that men are accepting us.
We believe we need to have more ladies, in the job, because the ladies are hardworking people. So it is actually, a very good privilege to have these ladies in the canine unit.
For the upcoming 5 years, I'm hoping that we'll have more lions in this national park. And I hope that more female handlers will join our unit in order to protect the animals. And I'm sure the project again will be growing up and up. More animals will be born here, then will be staying, and they will protect them for their kids to come and see them.
Ahead, getting creative to ensure the future of rhino conservation.
The rhinos keep the ecosystem healthy.
Children from the Chichala school in Zambia prepare for their day's lessons.
We are going to know how plants and animals in an ecosystem all depend on one another.
Chichala is one of 22 schools the North Luongo Conservation Program works with to help educate local communities about the importance of rhino and wider wildlife protection.
These animals, they like to keep themselves cool. Young generations, they are future leaders. Because if we teach them, we show them real animal in real life, it will be easy when they grow up to conserve without waiting for someone to ask them to do that. Because they will grow up with that love. They say, oh, these are ours. And then they will have that care, the inside care, and then which will help the animals to be free. So that's why we are teaching. I know it's hard to change the mindsets for adults, but easy for children.
The educational program started in 2003. At the same time, rhinos were reintroduced into the park. They say they've reached around 2,500 children over the years.
What sound the rhino makes? Aha, so I want you to go through, knock down all those branches, and proceed to go and graze wherever you want to go. We make sure that we teach them not just about rhinos, even these other natural resources, because it's very important. A rhino cannot live without those things. So if we conserve all those things together, meaning we are even actually conserving the rhinos, we're helping the rhinos. You can open on page 29. We hope children can also help teach parents as well. So my target is in 5 years, Zambia, or North Luongo in particular, will have a less number of poachers.
Around 80,000 people live in the villages surrounding the park.
I come from here, and I know that as a young person, my parents used to go and poach. They used to go and hunt. It was part of our life, okay? But down the line, we've appreciated that if we work together, if we collectively own these resources and sustainably use them, then it can change our lives. So for the rest of my life, I've been doing this. For over 22 years now, I've been working with communities in various places. So for me, I have a great passion personally that the presence of rhino is going to change not just my livelihood, but even for the children who are going to come after me. So where is the register? Okay. So you check the members who are present. Okay.
Rogers Labilo helps villagers save their money and set up conservation-related businesses.
15 years ago, this was a very, very remote place. It was a thick bush. But what you see, because of the presence of the park, because of the presence of the rhino and the development that is associated, people's livelihood have changed drastically. They've got electricity, they've got clean water, they've got clean sanitation system. So people know that this development that is taking place, changing their livelihood, is because of having the presence of rhino and conservation in the park. Because people here get employed because of having the park next to them.
I can say that we have a lot of jobs there, especially in terms of conservation. They are making money from the honey. They are teaching people how to save their money. And they are doing group meetings because some people they don't know that the animal is very important, especially to our future.
The success of this entire program rests on this appreciation. The hope is that by diversifying the local community's incomes and helping them to protect the environment, the rhino population can flourish for generations to come.
Overall goal for the rhinos within the program is to try and reach 100 and then try to repopulate other areas in Zambia. With the Nsumbu National Park on Lake Tanganyika in the north of Zambia, and work has already been underway there for 2 years. And hopefully in the next 3 or 4 years we're going to reintroduce buffalo and then lions and then black rhinos into there. It's a perfect habitat, it's remote, it's out of the spotlight, and great opportunity for us to replicate the success that we've had here. And I think that's our responsibility, is to keep this going.
Personally for me, it's something that I'm ready to die for. We feel so proud. We are excited and it's encouraging, and we just hope that others can one day have an opportunity to see the black rhino.
If we can protect black rhinos in Zambia, then we'll achieve something.